right. Hello and welcome to another Career Development Alumni Interview Series session. Today, I am lucky to be able to sit down virtually with Dan Cohen, a 2018 grad who is currently working as a trade support analyst among our accounting, finance, economics, and analyst career community. Dan, thank you so much for being with me here today to discuss your role and to educate our students on what exactly it is that you do and how you got to be where you are today. So would love just to start if you could give us a brief introduction of who you are.
Yeah, sure. Great. It's great to be here, and always great to give back any way I can. And real quick, I'm graduating 2018, as you mentioned, finance and econ double major, and I was as involved as anyone can get on campus. Joined as many clubs as possible, and tried to make my presence known. And I think, as you'll hear throughout the interview, it definitely has gone a long way in getting to me to where I am today.
Excellent. So, Dan, can you just kind of start it and tell us a little bit about, what exactly, where are you working? What's your role? What exactly do you do?
Sure. Yeah. So I work at Point 72, which is a traditionally long short equity hedge fund in Stamford, Connecticut, but we have offices all over. And I work in the trade support team. So we monitor the day-to-day trading of the firm. Me specifically, I work on the macro side, which is perfect for being an econ major. I support our macro trading desk, and these PMs trade anywhere from fixed income, currencies, futures, those types of products. And they're trying to make decisions based off of economic events and factors. And so in my day-to-day, I'm monitoring our FX trading of the firm. Anything that our PMs execute hits my screen, and I'm making sure that all the PMs have to worry about is executing their ideas, and the trades get allocated and flowed to their accounts appropriately, and they don't have to worry about anything else from their perspective. So I like to think that I'm the caretaker of their books. And it's a cool perspective because I get to see how they're reacting on a day-to-day basis when news hits, headlines break. I get to learn how the PMs trade themselves. So every person has their own personality, and I get to see the PM's personalities firsthand, if you will. And part of our responsibility in covering a product is to become a product expert. So I'm proud to say that I'm probably one of the most knowledgeable in the FX trading support role in the FX product. So that comes with great responsibility. Anything from any other department, questions related to FX get thrown my way. So I take great pride in that. And then business initiatives that come straight from the top. We work on a lot of projects to expand the business. And as many people have been following the markets, it's been a good year for many hedge funds. And with that expansion come business opportunities that we get to help along with.
That's great. Well, it sounds like you're in a really good spot and doing some really cool things, which really is a great segue to my next question. And what do you think, you mentioned being super involved on campus, but what do you think are some of the major factors that really contributed to what you did at Sacred Heart, maybe what you did even outside of Sacred Heart that led you to be where you are today?
Sure. Yeah, I think first and foremost is getting myself out there and being a part of different groups allowed me to be personable and not be afraid to reach out to anyone, someone especially that I haven't met before in a department I haven't worked with before. And where I sit, we are a central location for all departments because we do touch every single trade that is executed in the firm. Any department can have a question on it, and we should know the answer to it. So I have to be very familiar with working with a lot of different people, especially ones that I've simply never met before. And being part of many different clubs, putting myself out there, welcoming guests to SHU, as I did in my 4 years there, that definitely has gone a long way. And with that, balancing a full class schedule as I did, time management was huge, organization was huge. Even something as simple as organizing an Outlook calendar. You would not believe when I organized my class schedule and all my meetings on an Outlook calendar so that when I came to work full time, I'm throwing reminders on there, plus my meetings, plus tasks I should never forget. And it's something as simple as that can go a long way in helping the transition from school to full time. And I credit that with making my work life a lot easier as well.
So it sounds like you kind of sat down and you had the basic fundamentals from just what you've learned in what you had learned in college. That's excellent. Good. And kind of looking back, if you could do it all over again, what would you, if anything, would you do anything differently? You know, knowing what you know now, if you could go back and 4 years and do it all over again, what would you change, if anything?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, thinking about some of the skills that I'm even looking for when I interview interns and potential full-time hires, where the finance world in general is getting very, very technical. And it's not only Excel skills, it's not only building pivot tables and, creating VLOOKUPs on a whim. It's VBA. We're looking, we like Python, SQL, all those fun codes that everyone hears and sees on a job requirement of nice to have. They're not only nice to haves, but they're sought after. And I think going back when I had, more of the time to have classes to take regarding these technical skills, I definitely would have taken them. Being a self-starter is great. It's much harder to do it in the real world. And when you balance a 10 to 12 hour day, you want to take a break, and then trying to start back up again and learning some of these tasks that you never learned before is very challenging. So for the finance students in particular, and anyone in business, I'd say those technical skills will go a long way. And it doesn't have to be something you're necessarily interested in. There's a lot of stuff that over my time, I knew I had to take, I knew I had to learn. And I'm by far not the most knowledgeable on tech. I barely, can use my iPhone correctly, but it is something that's very important in the world of finance where we are today. And I would definitely have honed in on those skills a lot more in my 4 years.
Okay, that's great. And again, perfect transition. Just in general, whether it's maybe finance specific or just general advice for any student currently at Sacred Heart, in the College of Business and Technology, even outside of the College of Business and Technology, who just thinks they might want to go into finance one day. What kind of advice would you have for them?
Yeah, absolutely. I think besides taking the initiative and learning some new things that, as you see on applications, are consistent that you might need to learn on your own, I'd say breaking down the wall of being uncomfortable with uncomfortable settings. I know that's championed a lot and was always in my 4 years, and I never really understood that until I got to working full time. In my role, especially being someone who's relied upon as a product expert, I'm asked to do a lot of things I've never done before. But if it's related to my product, I should do it, because if something does go wrong, I should be able to piece together on how to resolve any issue. So quite often there are things I do during the day that I simply have never done before. I don't know the answer to many of the questions that I'm asked, but I have to take the initiative to find the answer and to get the job done. And at first, that was very daunting. When I first started, I was always asking my coworkers, "Hey, how do I do this? Who should I talk to?" That thing. And then there reached a point where I'm getting asked for a reason, and it's because I know what I should be doing. I just have to get over the hump of feeling uncomfortable. And mistakes will be made, but if you know how to mitigate those, then you can do your job very successfully.
Right. Great. Well, Dan, those are my questions. Thank you so much. As always, great to see you, and wonderful to hear about all the great stuff that you are doing. So we hope to see you on campus soon. I know you're back quite often with networking nights and panels and all of that. So hopefully we'll see you soon again, face to face. But we really value your time and so appreciate you giving back to the college. So be well. Thank you again, and we'll be in touch.
Sounds good. I appreciate the opportunity.
Okay. Thank you.